Hello, I'm ABX Toycat, and welcome back to Seed Sunday. Seed Sunday is a weekly series I run on my channel where I show you seeds, Minecraft Xbox, and Minecraft PlayStation, which are particularly unique and worth checking out in some way. However, every other week I like to do something else to do with seeds, and today I'm going to be focusing on biomes, one of the most important parts of any seed, and giving you 5 fun facts about biomes you might not have previously known, unless you watched a lot of Seed Sunday, in which case you might recognize a few of these. Anyway, either way, I'd very much appreciate a like on the video. It does help out the channel a lot, and it lets me know you do like it and want to see more. And let's get straight into this with the first fact. I mean, it makes more sense to start the first rather than the fourth, right? And the first fun fact about biomes you might not have known is that actually, you might have thought that back in the day when they first introduced the game, it just always had biomes and they slowly just added more, right? However, when the game was first introduced, there was no biomes. It was just vaguely similar to a plains biome, but, just everywhere along the world. There was no stopping and starting. It was just this infinitely, which is, not necessarily the best thing in the world. Biomes make things a lot more interesting. And the very first true biome they added to the game was actually the winter mode biome. So this was just a small change to the game that made it so in some places there would snow. So imagine this, but without the trees. And it was kind of a cool little change to the game. It made things a little bit more varied, but the first new biome that came was actually called Winter Mode at first, and since then we've had so many biome changes. It wasn't just they had some biomes, then they introduced some new ones. We had the the first set of new biomes, then we had the 1.8 update, which changed all the biomes. Then we had a couple of updates of new biomes, including the mushroom biome, then the jungle biome, and then 1.7 is where the last of the new biomes come in, and that's probably going to be the last biomes for a very long time. But yeah, biomes have a long history, and the very first biome was the Winter Mode one. So hopefully that is something you didn't know. If it isn't, let's move on to the next fun fact, which relates to blocks, which aren't the same depending on where the biome is. So, if you place down most blocks, you expect them to be the same regardless of biome, right? When you place down a dirt block, it's going to be the same, except when it gets overtaken by mycelium. But if you place down a diamond block, it's going to look the same, right? These things are true for most blocks, but there are a few blocks that do not work this way, and, well, there's 2 to be precise, which is the grass block and the leaves block. So this is a really interesting thing to me, because if you place them down in a plains biome, you get kind of one look, so you get kind of this, and if you play, this isn't plains biome, but this is just something, but if you place them down in a desert, you get an entirely different look. And what's really cool about this is you can use this to work out when one biome ends and another begins, if you have an old world that the biomes have all shifted around. So you can see here, the grass slowly changes from, like this more, kind of withered out grass over here, all the way to this very cold grass over here. And, yeah, it's a very cool way of working out what's what, and in some cases, like I have 3 biomes next to each other here. I have a forest next to a snowy, next to a, like a desert here. So you can see I can use this to kind of grasp, even you can see even this quickly, you can see how fast the biomes change and how you can use that to your own stuff. So yeah, you can see very weird how the colors kind of change as it goes across the biomes, but it's a useful thing you can use, and even if you don't want to use it in that way, it just means you have more building blocks than you might realize, because blocks look different depending on the biome, at least these ones do anyway. So one really interesting thing, just as a side note, is the grass block isn't actually, the grass block based on the plains biome. Let me just go to one to prove it to you. They're based on the extreme hill biome for some reason, and to me, it feels as though the plains biome or the the jungle biome grass is much more recognizable than this, because look at the block in my hand, look at the block over there. They're different, and that's really weird to me. The same is true for oak leaves. I don't entirely understand why, but that's just a little fun fact you might not have known. Anyway, let's move on to the third fun fact you might not have known about biomes, and that is actually relating to an unused biome that's been sat in the game files for a long time for both PC and console, that actually got to see its first real debut on the console with custom superflats. So I'll quickly just exit the game right here, and I can show you this. So for some reason, they put in the frozen ocean biome into the game for a little bit, but they never made it usable until it came out for the custom superflat. So when you create a new world and you go to superflat and you customize it, this the biome way down here at the bottom, well, just down here next to ocean, I should say, is actually over here. So basically, it's just an ocean, and there's no real differences. If you look here, it's basically the same thing, but it's Sub-Zero. And the reason that I think they didn't actually make this a proper biome in the game is because it's very similar to what happens in a snow biome with a lake. Like, you kind of get small frozen oceans, and nobody wants a massive one. Like, there's not too much benefit to having one. It's just kind of it seems slightly pointless, and I kind of get it. But in custom superflat, you can experience it if you want to, and that's a thing you can totally do. So yeah, there is a biome currently exclusive just to custom superflat that was unused for the longest time. Speaking of biomes which haven't been used in the game, that kind of related to that, is basically the fact that the Savanna Biome, which is one of the more anticipated 1.7 biomes, lots of people are looking forward to, including myself, because it's probably my favourite new biome coming out, has actually existed in the game before. That's right, in TU3 there was actually a Savanna Biome in the game file. So you might think, why did they remove a biome like that, and why have they not given it back to us yet? So Like I mentioned earlier in the video, back in, way back in the day, they actually introduced a bunch of new biomes to the game which haven't survived to the present day, one of which was the Savanna Biome. So the Savanna Biome back then was much more plain. It didn't have exclusive wood, it didn't really have anything. It was just kind of picture a desert, which we've got over here, but picture it just, covered in grass. So it's just a really, kind of dull color of grass with no real benefits to the place at all. So they removed it because it didn't really have too much going on, and that when they later put it on, they changed the name to have an H at the end, but it's still, there was a Savanna biome in the game in TU3 and TU1, and that's a fun fact you might not previously know. Let's move on to the last fun fact, which is one of the big differences between PC biomes and console biomes. So for the most part, the world generation works the same. If you type in a seed from the same update on the PC, you'll get a similar world on the console. But the one big thing where consoles and PC always differ is to do with the ocean biomes. So ocean biomes, for the most part, will try to be limited on the console because of the fact that obviously, oceans are meant to be these massive biomes on the PC. But, a 360 or PS3 size world is only 864 by 864. Let me show you, I've got this world is in classic world size. You can see it ends right here. And this whole map could be the size of an ocean on the PC. And although you can occasionally get those seeds where it is like that, for the most part, if you use a randomly generated seed, they will always try to make sure the oceans aren't too big, because ocean biomes don't have too much. Like, they're a cool novelty, and they're a cool way to kind of stop you on PC, but on console, where you need to use all the world space you've got, it's just not a very good idea. So speaking of ocean biomes, a lot of people have the misconception that the edge of the world, so this over here, is actually an ocean biome, but using the good old test of the, dirt grass color. So this is a bad one because this is a thing. But if you go to a desert biome, you can actually test, and it actually turns out that it's non-ocean biome at the edge here. It's just an extension of the regular biome, but with water instead. So yeah, this edge here isn't ocean biome, and ocean biomes are a lot rarer on console than PC, which is honestly, to me, a big benefit in so many ways. So yeah, that is 5 fun facts you might not have previously known about biomes. If you liked the video, please do like it and let me know. Share it if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.